everybody, and welcome to the Wild Wahine. Thank you for joining in. Today we're going to be talking about the Mars square Saturn, and we also will be talking about the 4 energy types of a warrior. So thanks for joining, and we're going to jump right in. I recorded this video earlier. It is much longer. It is up on my IGTV, but the quality was kind of poor due to the IGTV live, so I'm recording it again. It's a little bit more condensed this time, so if you want to check out the longer video, just go to my IGTV and you can see all 40 minutes worth of yumminess. All right, so we're now talking about Mars squaring Saturn. It is the reason why you're feeling irritable, while you're feeling anxious, while you're feeling like hot and bothered and just yucky and you can't focus and not able to get things done. We've been in this energy for a while. Mars squared Saturn on the 24th. We're still in this energy. It's going to do another square again in September. We need to deal with it. We need to deal with what happens when the warrior meets authority. And that's essentially what's happening. Whenever we have squares, squares represent a conversation, a difficult conversation, a conversation that only really can come about with one winner, and they're kind of struggling and trying to figure out who's going to be the one that's on top. And that's why we're feeling this energy. Mars is our warrior. He's the god of war, representing Aries from the Greek pantheon. All of the energy of doing and activity and individuality and kind of, pushing through and your personal will, your sheer willpower to get shit done and set goals for yourself that are lofty and just kind of sort of going into things head first, right? Mars is actually the planet that represents Aries, so a lot of that kind of quality of Aries, you will see that in Mars. Saturn energy is cool energy. It's not fiery like that. It's authoritative. It's the father. It's the grandfather. It's political systems. It's structures. It's all of the things that are kind of telling you to slow down and watch it and pay attention to details. It's the great finisher. There is an ending to it. It's all about doing things well and doing them on a global scale. There's a lot of power in that. When these two energies come together and have this, square conversation, things can get volatile. We're seeing a lot of things that are happening right now with political structures, and also Mars rules armies and the National Guard and firefighters and surgeons, as well as police. So we're seeing a lot of energy with authority and those who have the power that are given authority over us, and what are we doing with that? That's the energy that we're feeling right now. That's what's percolating. That's also the energy that's going to be kind of, prevalent as we go into the fall. So I just want you guys to know what's going on and be prepared for the energy, and how is your inner warrior going to show up. One of the interesting things about Mars energy is it tends to be very much an aggressor, not really good with defense, doesn't really know how to do with that. But when Mars squares Saturn, it's like you got to have your defense. You have to have your arms up or you can get hit. Protect your face, protect your body. It's something that's really important. So what I wanted to do is take this moment to talk about the 4 archetypes of the warrior. And I'm specifically using the tarot for this, and I'm using the queens in tarot just because I feel that what we're seeing is people against power and systems of power. And I feel that, like, when we're talking about stepping into our warrior, but we're also talking about taking care of ourselves, I feel like that is that feminine energy, that is that queen energy. That's why I'm not using the king. So we're going to start with the Queen of Cups. So this is archetypal water energy. And so being the warrior queen of water, being the queen of emotion, being the person who's holding the space for people, to share their feelings, to share who they are, to share what they're going through. It's the healer energy, it's the nurses, it's the doctors, it's the energy of the therapist, of the person who is able to take a situation or a person that is broken and help piece them together. So the warrior energy. The next energy that we have is the Queen of Pentacles. And this is earth energy. So when we have the warrior of earth, or that earth warrior energy, That's the energy of the nurturer. That's the energy of the teacher, the energy of the person who has the physical space for you to be at. It's the person who says, okay, everybody come over my place and we'll make signs together. We're going to go out together, gathering people together. It's the grounding. It's the grassroots, literally, of any kind of organization. It's people, you first had to go through the place where you felt something in your heart. That's that water energy. And now you're here at the Queen of Earth. You're making steps towards progress to that. So you're getting information out there. You're the one that's supporting. There's financial support a lot of times that's given in that energy. So for some people who, are not able to really hold the emotional space or physically be out there on the line, they're the people that are like, okay, where do I sign? Where do I donate? How do I donate? How can I give my time? Who needs supplies? What is it that people need? So you're building that kind of foundation. It's the foundational aspect of the movement. It's doing all the paperwork, any of and everything that you need to do to create the foundation, to create change. That's what that energy is good for. And that energy is also very much needed. And it's a way that you can find yourself. If you want to be a part of this, you can definitely lean into that. The next energy is the one that I believe that we're most familiar with because it's the one that's most visible. And this energy is the Queen of Wands. So with the Queen of Wands, it's fire energy. It's the energy of the person who goes out there and puts themselves on the line, puts their body on the line. It's the wall of moms. It's people who are protesting. It's people who are standing in a space and taking up space and saying, we want to be seen, we want to be heard. It's the first responders. It's the people who are first out there saying, like, we need to get on top of this. It's the passionate ones. It's passionate speech. It's speech that's coming from a place of empowerment. It's speech that, motivates people and gets people up and going so that they can go and create the change that they want. It gives them the energy that they need. Everything that has to do with fire is always very energizing. That's the one that we see most of the time when we're like scrolling through social media and we're looking on the line. Now, it's not an energy that everybody can be, and which is why I want to talk about all of these other energies, because there is a certain level of risk in that energy. When you're putting your body on the line, then you're putting your body in a place that it can be hurt. Those of us, which are many people who have experienced trauma, who have experienced mental, emotional, or physical trauma, that's a hard place to be. You're like, I definitely feel for this movement. I definitely want a part of it, but I can't physically go out there because I don't feel safe. I have issues with trauma in my life and I can't do that. That's why I'm talking about all of the other different ways that you can kind of lean into if that's something that's not accessible to you. But it also is something that is very needed because it tends to be the thing that people see most. First, kind of they dismiss the emotional aspect of it. Then they kind of sort of dismiss all of the kind of written information and the taking of the knee and all of those kinds of things. Those things have a tendency to get dismissed. No one dismisses fire. We literally can see that right now, especially with all of the burning that's happening right now and the kind of destructive aspect of that. That is kind of the trajectory of how things happen, especially when things are not taken care of in the water or earth stage. So it's kind of natural that it progresses to that. Sometimes, of course, we know that fire can be incredibly destructive. It has to be wielded in the proper way. It also can be the thing that transforms things and creates change. So I just wanted to put that out there as for people who don't have that kind of fiery aspect, or that's not the type of warrior archetype they're leaning into. There's other ones that you can lean into as well. The other one is the archetype of the Queen of Swords, the no bullshit, the come at me bro, as I like to call her. So the Queen of Swords is air energy. That is the intellectual. That is a person who is running for politics. That is a person who says, I have a plan. I know a way that we can change this. This is how we can change it. This is how we can create change in the political realm, in any other kind of realm. People with plans and ideas of changing things, a new way of looking at things, a new system. Like, let's try this system. Why don't we try it this way? I was researching this. Why don't we, put this into the cause? It's the problem solver. It's the person who's coming up with ideas to make things different. And that, I think, is also very important. We kind of don't always see that one all of the time. All of the people that are like coming up with the plans, how things should be, what is the wording, what should the law look like, how are we lobbying this person? All of these energies are very much needed in order to create the change that you want to bring about in the world. These are all 4 energies that you can lean into. Now, sometimes you'll find yourself in a place where you lean a little bit heavier on one than the other, like for a lot of people, I would say like the air energy is the keyboard warrior. You're just like, going to town on that like Facebook and Twitter and snarky remarks back and forth and stuff. How are we using our time? Are we using our time in the best ability? Is this something that's healthy for us? I want to take a moment and just talk about all of the four energies and ways in which that we can kind of, if we're a little bit too deeply involved, how we can get on a more even keel so we don't find ourselves completely, drained of all energy, because it is hard to be a warrior. A warrior at every time needs to step back and relax and let somebody else go back out there. So when we talk about the Queen of Cups, which is what we started with, this energy, because she's holding space, because she's the healer, sometimes everybody's coming to you. Everybody has something. Everybody needs to be healed. Everybody needs to be heard. It is very important sometimes for the water folks, people who have that warrior archetype, to step away, to dry out a bit, to go into nature, to isolate themselves sometimes if it's too much energy coming your way. You can only hold space for so many people. There's only so much that you can do. So sometimes it's a good idea to step back away from it so that you don't get in a situation where you're very codependent, or people are, super dependent on you and you're not able to function in your life. When you hold space for people, lots of people come in so that you can hold it, and that space just gets bigger and bigger. And sometimes you do have to step away from that for your own mental health. That's really important. The other one for the Queen of Pentacles here, Earth energy. Sometimes we are spending all of the money. Sometimes we need to keep that within ourselves. Sometimes we have to balance those things out. How much can I spend? How much time can I put towards things? I'm the great teacher. I'm teaching people and I'm telling people, but at the same time, when is time that I need to, go back into myself? And with that being said, sometimes when it's so heavy and there's so many ideas and so many goals and so many things you want to do, you can get in this place where you feel very, very overwhelmed. A really good thing to do if you're that archetype, that Queen of pentacle energy, is to get yourself moving, get yourself outside, get yourself some exercise, move and shake some things around so that you're not just sitting down like typing in front of the computer or putting things and doing, all of that and planning this and organizing that and having people over and all of that kind of stuff. You're another holder of space. Both water and earth hold that. That's something that you have to think about. The other energy that's really important too, that you have to, make sure that you balance, which we all know is the fire. The Queen of Wands archetype, that's important that you don't burn out. Burnout is real with this. You're putting yourself in front, you're putting your body on the line, you're getting injured, you're getting beat up, you're having things happen to you over and over and over again. And you do at some point have to say, okay, I need to step back. I need to take care of myself. I need to make sure that I check my mental health, check my body, check all of these things, check on the folks that care about me, check on the folks that I'm responsible for, all of those things. Sometimes fire and passion, it's such a beautiful thing, but it can get so, your life can become consumed by it, but that the other things in your life that are really important get put by the wayside because of that. I'm not saying don't show up as your passion itself. I'm not saying don't do what you feel that you need to do. I am saying take care of yourself in these spaces. I am saying do not just put yourself out there in a space that's not safe, that you don't feel comfortable with, and all of us have different levels of safety, right? We know that. So you have to know yourself, you have to know what your limit is, and you have to know when to step away when you need to. And a really good thing for people who run really hot is to get in the water, to have nice cool baths, to get into the ocean, to get in the lake, to go for a swim, anything that has to do with, getting out in nature and just calming yourself, meditation, yoga, all of those things are good to kind of sort of quell the fire if you feel like it's raging out of control. And the other thing for air, which are the great thinkers who are just like in their mind and all the chatter and all the worry and all the stress and all of that stuff, sometimes you need to step away from your electronics, step away from your Facebook, step away from your Twitter, step away from all of the stuff that causes you so much stress. It does cause you stress. It's meant to cause you stress. There are things called algorithms, they're there to invoke an emotional response. You do not have to bite. You don't. You can put it down. You can give yourself limits. Again, being outside, being in nature, slowing down is very, very important for your mental health and well-being. Stepping away, knowing that, appointing someone else to do something, having someone else come in and do it for you so you can step back is also very, very important. Anyway, I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for joining. My name is Kaylani with the Wild Wahine. You can find me on Instagram. All my information is linked in bio. I do astrology readings and tarot tarot readings and videos like this. This video will be up on IG. It will also be on my YouTube. You can find me on YouTube at The Wild Wahine. You can also find me on Facebook. If you have any questions, you can DM me or you can email me. All that information is on my Instagram and on the Facebook comments below. So thank you guys so much. What kind of